Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are here live bringing you this broadcast here of 239 Hockey. Let me get my guest in here. I actually didn't even pop my guest in here. What a fail. But we do have a guest in here. You know, you got to put the kids away, man. Send them off to Grandma's house. Jimmy, 124, how you doing over there, brother?
Doing good. How about yourself, brother?
I'm good. Hey, it's a different day. It's Monday on here, coming at 9 p.m. Different time. Usually I'm on the weekend, Saturdays or Sunday. But this week, a little bit different because we had WrestleMania over the weekend, two-night thing. So I didn't want to, I don't want to ruin our ratings over here at 239 Hockey.
Can't miss WrestleMania, most important event of the year.
Absolutely. Jimmy, I got to ask, man, why is it Jimmy 124 now 123, man?
My birthday is January 24th.
So there you go. There you go.
You know, over the last 15 years, I've been asked that probably 300 times.
We'll make it 301, man. But we got a lot to discuss here, man. A lot of stuff happened. There were some trades. There was, well, if you call it a trade, there was some games, a couple games on here. We did get stats in this week. I got to congratulate them on that. You know, I was real hard on the guys last week because of stats. We're going to talk about rescheduling. We're going to talk about who's the hottest team going right now on this. We'll talk about Pell's team. We'll talk about Hall of Fame squad, a little bit about Freak, and all that more. Jimmy, we don't got much time here because I know games kick off 10, so I'm going to try to dive right into it, brother, on here. So this past week, start things off, Monday night, Caberlet taking on Pale Poner. You know, you had the one-trick pony who had a tremendous week one. They took down No Regretsky's team, which got a tremendous review after the draft, but he swept them, man. He came out, swept them. And then on Monday night against Pale Poner's team, not much different here. A full sweep here as well. 6-4 final game 1, 5-3 game 2, and then 6-3 on here. So Pale Poner squad, get this, man. They started off the season 4-0. They swept Cobb. They won the next one, and then now they've dropped 4 and an overtime loss where it puts them on here 4-1. Haven't won a game in the last 5 games on here. But for Caberlet's team, man, what a good start here. And the whole forward line in this series, final stats here for Rocky, Hammer, and Caberlet, all finished with 12 points each. And despite Drug Monkey's poor performance in that, 75 save percentage, that's got to get a lot better than that. They paid a lot more money for this guy to be putting up 75% on here, but nonetheless, it's a sweep here on Monday night from last week, Jimmy.
Well, what I think I'm going to say first off, Drug Monkey is one of the best goalies in the league. By far. Let me phrase that, the second best goalie in the league. We'll discuss the best one later on. With the 75% save percentage, I'm not going to blame the goaltending on that at all. Drug did what he had to do.
Absolutely. Now, I do question Caberlet playing Rocky in this series. He's got some part-time players. Now, in this week, they played Pale Poner, and they played your squad, Jimmy, man. I just found out like 2 minutes ago that you play for a Hall of Fame squad. I didn't even fucking know that, man.
Surprise.
But I'm going to get to that later bit on here because I didn't agree with Caberlet's lineup that he ran here. Now, it could have been availability issue-wise because I would have put Rocky against that Hall of Fame squad, but he did not. The other series on Monday, not much here. Cobb against Wizzy. Although Cobb got his first win of the season on here, taking out Wizzy 4-2. Wizzy, you can't have that happen, man. You can't. But then Wizzy bounces back game 2 and 3, went 3-1, and then 5-0 shutout here. Wizzy up there, 9 points. Mash, Wizzy Mash, man. Those two right there. Dynamic duo. 8 points for Mash, 9 for Wizzy. And then what about Highlight? 7 points. And but the problem here with Wizzy, like I said, they needed a sweep here against Cobb's squad. They didn't have the best week 1 on here. So they needed all 3, but they did take 2, so they got the series win. But some of the problems that happened on Wizzy's team, which a lot of guys mentioned in the draft, after the draft, was Odd Guy and Adam. How many times are these guys going to be in the penalty box way? Well, they had 10 penalty minutes in this series here, despite the series win, taking 2 out of 3.
And everybody has an off game, so I am not concerned about Wizzy. Cobb, their team jumped up for one game. Wizzy kind of had a little off game, and no big deal. What matters is they won the series. That's what matters.
And who the fuck is this guy? Addy Braincat? I never seen this guy's name before, man. You know this guy?
Braincat. Yeah, he played with me when I played with Freak, was it 2 seasons ago when Shotgun was my captain?
Oh, so he's been here. Okay.
Yeah, he's a solid player. He's not no Vibe. He's not no Gretzky. He's not no Ozzy or Senji and Ronan. I had to throw my players out there, but he is definitely a very serviceable player.
Well, he played in net in this series. I know he plays some forward, but he played in net. 85 save percentage and a shutout in one of those games. So that's a 2. I mean, I never saw the guy's name. I thought maybe it was a gamer tag change or anything, but. That's what we got you here, Jimmy, man. You always correct me here. So that was Monday. It was only 2 series. Nothing on a Tuesday. Nothing on Thursday. We did have a couple games Wednesday. And I'm going to get to this one right here because, Jimmy, you were part of this series here. It was a big matchup talked about. This was the series of the week. No doubt about it. You guys were 6-0 heading into this series. Or actually 9-0. I'm sorry, 9-0 heading into this series here. Against Cabaret.
No, we were 6-0 going.
Oh, 6-0. Okay, I was right the first time. And then, and Cabaret came off that huge win against Noah Gretzky, then sweeping Pale Poner. But then here, man, you guys continue the win streak here, and perfect on the week once again. 4-3 game 1, 4-1 game 2, and then 3-1 in game 3. It's a complete sweep. Seji had a monster game here, series. 11 points for him. Surprised Ronan got a couple assists in this series, man. And once again, Drug Monkey on here. A little bit better here, but it was 78 percentage. And once again, here's the thing, man. They paid a lot of damn money here. The highest paid goaltender here. He's got to be better.
Again, I am going to repeat what I said earlier in this conversation. Drug Monkey is not the problem. Their defense did not play well against us. Their goaltending, that game, all 3 of those games could have been way different. Our forwards dominated that team. Tell their stats. Italy's team stats. What was that like? You have those in front of you?
No, we don't, man. We don't got to get into that. But here's a stat for you, Jimmy. I'll give. Cabaret squad, I mentioned earlier Rocky played in the other series in the week, which is only part-time this week. Rocky's a guy that was nominated for like freaking 10 awards last season. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit on there, but he had a lot of freaking awards. A part-time player here. Why is he not in this series here? Listen, here's a stat for you. You want stats, man? Cabaret's team is 6-0 with Rocky on the ice, man. 6-0. So, and if that's the case, I mean, unless Rocky wasn't available, maybe he was only available. Because how do you play him against Pale Poner? You don't need him against Pale Poner's team. Come on, man.
I'm very confident in when I say this. The same outcome would have happened. I'm very confident. And you know what, though? I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go all the way to playoffs because I know we're going to see them in the playoffs. I'm going to say the same exact thing. Very confident against Rocky with this squad. This squad is an amazing squad. Even if I wasn't on it and we had somebody else, this squad is amazing. And you're talking about Ronan and his assist. Some of the passes I have seen that guy make are absolutely insane. So it really surprised me to hear that you were surprised that he's getting assists. Because he is absolutely playing out of his mind, all 3 of them.
So you're saying if Rocky's in this series, the outcome would not be different on here. I tend to disagree. I'm not sold on this Hall of Fame squad. I'm sorry, man. A lot of guys are. A lot of guys are saying that you guys are the number 1 team right now, man. I mean, you're perfect. You're undefeated. But I disagree. I am not sold here, Jimmy, on this. I'm sorry. You mentioned one key word, playoffs, man. And that's where I'm sticking to. Listen, how many seasons have we been through 239 where dominated a team in the regular season, goes in, and then here comes the playoff, boom, they're out. I see the same thing happening here with this Hall of Fame squad, man. Rolling here in the regular season, man. And Ronan knows all about this. I'm going back seasons where he had beat Cripps. He had Marty McFly. He had freaking Hockey Town on there. Sea-Doo on there. Dominating the regular season, just as we're seeing it on here. Do you think they won the championship? No, they not. They not, man. And this happened to a lot of teams. Now, I'm not only saying it here because we've heard the mention of it's not the playoffs. Wait till the playoffs here. But the reason why I'm saying that here this season, man, in this period, because Jimmy, both me and you know, man, this is a make-a-wish season on here. Well, everybody's making the playoffs, man. So you think every team is going out there putting 110% here in the regular season? They are not, man. They are not. So that's why I see you guys going out quick, man. Now, I'll give you one round because every team makes the playoffs. So you're probably going to play a team that's not even 500 in the first round. I'll give you guys round 2, man.
Hey, I respect that. You know what? They're only as far as you go in the playoffs. You know, I've been at every playoff since I've been in here and not made it past the first round. So you're right, 100%. So that's fine. Keep us putting us as an underdog. I'm very happy with that. But you said Ronan had Marty McFly. He had other people as well. He never had Sedgy, and he never had Ozzy. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Big words there, Jimmy. Hey, listen, fellas, everybody tuning in, listening on here. Listen, Jimmy's a new guy on here, coming on the show here. I respect it here, but listen, you're a veteran here, over a decade here of calling analysis, and I see it when I see it here, Jimmy, man. I'm calling right down the middle. Hall of Fame squad is not the real deal here. I'm sorry, man. Great start, nonetheless. I mean, perfect. You couldn't ask for a better start than this, but listen, playoff time, it's a whole different animal here, and I just don't think you guys got it, man, to get it done, man. Shout out to guys in the chat there, man. Young Kelch, what's up, brother? How you, man? He's mentioned about we're not going to get to D-Mart's squad, unfortunately, this week. You know why? D-Mart's squad went undefeated. They didn't lose any game. No periods. Nothing, man. They didn't even have to sweat on the ice on here. Well, the fact they didn't even fucking play, man. But this week.
You know what I'm very disappointed about, and I got to say this. I got to call it out, man. We were supposed to play Regretsky's team this week. I'm very disappointed we did not get that series. I was looking forward to that series. Very disappointed.
Well, I think Kelch agrees on me with one thing with Ronan squad, so I take that back, man. The other series here, Jimmy, that we had from Wednesday, not much here going on. Freak against Cobb, no surprise here. Freak rolls right through. 8-2 game 1, 4-2 game 2, 3-2 game 3. The last two were a bit closer than the first one, but what about this? Shem, man, 10 points. Freak put up 9 points in this. And then I got to give a shout out to my defenseman. I don't give much love to the D here, Jimmy, but Day's Revenge ended with 6 points here in this series. So shout out to him. I know we don't keep stats, on block shots, interceptions and all that, but when I see a stat like this, shout out Day's Revenge and that sweep against Cobb.
Yeah, that's not a surprising series. Freak's got a great squad over there. He was with Shem last year, and him and Shem together in that playoff series against my team when we played last year was a crazy thing. Shem definitely carried them, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a good team right there.
I mean, has there been a season where these guys sucked, man? No, man. They've dominated, and the chem is right there, and he's doing it again here this season. So shout out to him. And listen, I was trolling about Dom Silva beginning of the season. Don't take those words in heart. We know how great these guys are, man. And they're proving.
I love Dom, man. Dom is an amazing player. I love playing defense with him. My first season in MHL, I played defense with him, and I definitely enjoyed it.
Well, if you're gonna spend like 40 plus bonds, man, That's one man that no question about throwing out that money out there, man.
That's a lot.
Maybe for you, Jimmy, man. I apologize, man. But moving on, last series here of the week. No Regretskis against Wizzy. This was a showdown on here. Wizzy taking game 1 6-4. No Regretskis come back in game 2 to take 6-3. But in the rubber game 3, close one here. But Wizzy takes it 2-1 final. And Wizzy and Mash put up a show here once again this entire week. They put up a show here. Wizzy 11 points, Mash with 9. Goaltending wasn't so great in this series. You know, you talked about goaltending before, but this series, goaltending was terrible. And with Wizzy and Mash on there, I mean, that's a goalie's nightmare.
Absolutely. You know, I don't play goalie very much. I don't really know Wizzy and Mash very well, so I can't really comment on them. I just see what they have done stats-wise, and, you know, they do their thing.
Ronan in the chat. Yeah, listen, the ads, I don't know, man. I got to change that. I've heard a lot about that, the separate ads. But we are live on Twitch and YouTube on here. I mean, I got to change these settings around, man. It's been a while since I streamed on these, so I think there's like an option I could lessen that on here. Listen, I got to put an ad for every assist you get this season, man. That's how it works.
You better put a lot more ads.
Put a lot more ads? Oh, man.
So, you know, you were talking that you don't think my team, I tell you what, I want to tell you this. Our last four series are all considered top teams. We got Wizzy, we got Freak, we got Big C, and we got Nova Gretzky. That'll prove, you know, where we stand with everybody else. So I was just looking at the schedule. I'm looking forward to all four of those series.
Yeah, no, that should be tremendous. I mean, some of the teams you mentioned, we haven't seen much here. You know, D-Mart's squad hasn't played much. Big C only has played 3 freaking games this entire season so far. What is going on with that, man? What is going on? You know, last week I got on about the stats, man, which was horrendous. This week I can't say much about the stats. Well, there wasn't much games, man. So, you know, but the other issue here, Jimmy, that I have, the reschedules. Like, what is going on here? Here's the thing, man. Big C, you might as well put Puss in front of C and get my opinions on what I think about Big C here this season. Because, come on, man, three games, what are they doing on here? You only play 2 series a week. It's not like you're playing a full week, you know what I mean? And you only got 3 games to begin with. Listen, if a captain's asking me to reschedule, man, I'm not rescheduling that, man. Listen, we got waivers. This is the regular season. I could understand if it was playoffs on here. You want to get your best guys on there. But if you're rescheduling because of 1 or 2 guys on there, I mean, I think that's uncalled for on there. And you know what it sucks? Because you can't base these teams down. This team has like 2 or 3 series at hand. They still got to play. You look at the stats, it's not all there. So it's kind of hard to do if you want to analyze a lot of these teams, because how do you analyze Big C's team with just 1 freaking series this season?
So I understand exactly what you're saying, you know, and I have a mixed emotions or feelings about this. Number one, I'm going to go back to Regretski's. He asked the day of to reschedule due to family emergency or whatever the reason was. You know, I'm not going to put his business out there. So if it's like an actual something that is, hey, this has happened, you know, can we reschedule because we want my top players against your top players, I'm all up for it. I'd rather play their top players than play 3 or 4 waivers. I'm with that. However, with that being said, let's say, for example, if Hollywood, you were owning a team and 2 weeks in a row, all of a sudden emergency came up where you couldn't play, there should be a maximum amount of reschedules allowed per season. Okay, you can have 2 reschedules. It doesn't matter if it's your team asking for the reschedule or the other team asking for the reschedule. You can have 2 per season. In my opinion, I think that would stop all of it.
Well, here's the thing, Jimmy. I mean, you bring a good point on there, but here's the thing. You're only playing 2 series a week. On top of that, I believe captains still, if this is the case, they give a day that they refuse, that they don't want to play. So you got a refusal night, right? On top of that, on there, why do you still got to reschedule? And if you're gonna reschedule, at least reschedule it for that week, man. Not move it down to like end of the week. Because here's what happens with that as well, man. Games don't get moved on the schedule, so when you got stats going in, you're not gonna have the accurate stats for that week. Number one, like there's a game still in week 1, Monday night opening night, that's been rescheduled, but now probably they can't even move it. Who knows? I'm not freaking tech savvy on that. Something you need to speak to Sniper about. But it's still there, and it's frustrating, man. When you're trying to do something like this, trying to do a show and stuff like that, when that occurs, you know what I mean? I mean, you already put in the refusal night on there. If I'm Big C, why are you allowing this, man? Just tell them no, man. You want to play? Because the other thing that faces on here, you got the trade deadline that comes up, right? So Big C teams only played one series on this, and if he trades somebody, let's say to like a Hall of Fame squad who's already played, 2 series each week on there, that player's not going to get much games. As opposed somebody that's from that team comes to his squad, you can play like fucking 30 games this season,
So Young Couch put in here, if both captains agree to it, then nothing wrong with it, especially when we have it set up to let unlimited reschedule. That is the problem. There should not be unlimited schedule. Again, I'm not a boss in any way. I'm just a player. This is just my opinion. If you have unlimited reschedules, well, that means by week 3, technically, we can have a team with 0 games played because they rescheduled all their games. That is a problem. What that does is just delays the league even more. So all of a sudden, we got a case where we got one team has 8 series in 2 weeks to play them. Well, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not a boss or anything, so I can't.
No. And listen, I've heard guys in the league say the same thing, what you're just saying on there as well. Because, I could see a reschedule here, maybe, like you said, something emergency happens or stuff. It's the regular season, man. It's the regular season. We've got freaking waivers. You got you got other guys on the roster as well. But it is what it is, man. On there, hopefully DeMar plays some games here this week because, there was nothing to watch last week there in 239. So hopefully he'll get some stream ratings there for Johnny Bales on the Twitch, and hopefully be a good week here this week. I was going to cover something else, man. I was going to say, there was trades, but if you call this a trade, man, Noah Regretski's trading Agent Murph to Cobb for that to all. But then what happens here, freaking Cobb ends up dropping Murph and just picks up Sniper. So I don't know what kind of knowledge here was in this trade. He could have just took Sniper from the waivers. That's where he was. But
I'm not a captain, so I don't know if this is it like a cap situation? Did he not have enough cap to pick up? I don't know how that works in this league.
No, I don't believe so, because then that trade wouldn't have gone through. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have let that trade, because the trade happened before the add and drop on there.
Oh, okay.
But we haven't seen much moves. We haven't seen much trades on here. I think Pale Poner needs to start making some moves, man. Here's a guy that's always involved in trade talk. 2 weeks already down, man, on here. Season's coming down, to that week 3 midway point on here. I think Pale Poner needs to make some moves. What do you think, Jimmy? You see any teams that you feel that should possibly make some moves, or what, man?
I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of trades. For the simple fact of you built your team, be happy with that team. I mean, if you need to pick up one here or there, that's great. But I see teams in the past do 10 trades in a season. Well, what's that prove? Mm-hmm. A team that, if anybody would be doing trades is, I believe it's Cobb down at the bottom. That's it. Yeah. Just to get rid of players to be able to go take a chance and let them go up play and have a chance at playoffs. Mm-hmm. Even though pretty much everybody makes it in. In my opinion, if you're going to allow 8 teams, then you might as well let all 9 and the number 1 seed have the bye. Might as well just do that. but I'm not an owner here.
Here's the team. Noah Gretzky's, man. A team that was hyped on here. Do you think Noah Gretzky's got to make a move here? Right now, he sits at 3-4-2. 9 games played, 8 points. Here's a stat for you, Jimmy. Goals for, goals against. They got 37 goals against on this team. Only 35 goals for. This is a team that was supposed to light up the scoreboard here this season, but it's the directly opposite. What is going on here? Is it goaltending? Is it the lack of defense or the lack of scoring here? What does Noah Gretzky's got to do? He's got to make a move, man?
It's very simple. Very simple. When you spend, what was it, like 50 on Vibe or something crazy like that, and then spend another 40 on Blue Liner, that's your problem. Don't get me wrong, they're great players. Like, I don't know Vibe, but I've heard he's great. Blue Liner is an amazing defenseman. But when you got 3 players who are really good, and Gretzky's probably one of the best players in the league. When you got 3 players that are really good, and then you have 3, I don't know who the other 3 are, period. That's probably the problem. Because all the teams have to do is shut down one side of the ice. That's simple.
Yeah. I mean, listen, those guys have tremendous chem. You know, they've played not only in this league, tremendous talent. I mean, the talent bar none. But if Noah Gretzky's got to make a move, he's got to move one of those top guys, man. He's not going to get a trade from those other 3 that he has on the squad. The thing is, would you, man? I mean, I haven't seen that. Like, who would trade BLK? Who would trade, I don't know.
The only way you trade BLK, and this is the only way, is if you get a top-notch winger and a top-notch defenseman. I'm not talking BLK strength. I'm talking, a decent, usable player. If you cannot get those 2 players, you deal with what you got. Plain and simple.
Okay. So we'll give some shout-outs here, members in the chat here, Young Kelch. We got Ronan in the chat, and he's giving you a shout-out here. He's like, that we're not talking about one-of-a-kind here, Jimmy, on here. Great performance so far here this season.
I did say, Ronan, I don't know if you heard or not, I did say Drunk.
We want you to say it again.
Goalie in the league. Drunk is the second best goalie in the league. The number 1, I'm sorry, I was talking earlier about Ronan and how good he was doing with Seji and Ozzy. They were playing absolutely fantastic together. Ronan is dishing that puck out like I've never seen before. But, if you look at our goals against as a team, you got to look at one of a kind. One of a kind has absolutely stolen some shows. 100%. He's just, we only allowed 4 goals as a team against that high-powered offense and Radulay and all that. 4 goals in a series. And 2 of them were breakaways as me and Hall of Fame made a mistake. So the team one of a kind is just amazing. One of the best goalies I've seen in a long time in this game. I gotta say it. So Ronan, you're right, brother. I didn't give him enough love.
Okay. All right, there you go. There's a shout out there. One of a kind on here. Jimmy, which squad I really like this season on here? We mentioned before, Dom Silva, Freak, Shem on here. Check these guys out. 5-1 here this season, all right? They've only played 1 series each week on here. Hopefully they play 2 here this week. Look at these monsters, man. 137 team hits for these guys, man. I mean, they are laying people out.
Briscoe got 120 of them.
with only 8 penalty minutes on here as well. Man. They definitely put the body out there. I love a team that does that, man. I love a team that does that on here. Can Freak do it again? He's last season he had a tremendous run, a little bit short there in the finals. We've seen a couple of seasons ago with BOK, how they dominated with Chum Lee on there. I think this could very well be Freak season, man. On here so far, a great start. When do you guys play Freak?
We play Freak. Let me pull up my schedule. on April the second to last series of the month
Oh,
or
wow.
this year,
Okay.
April 13th. So as a lot of people know, me and Freak's known each other for like 15 years. Really good friends, my homie, But when it comes on the ice, he's just like everybody else. I want to beat him. Freak is one of the best hitters in the game by far, no questions asked. And one of the best spinners in the league. And what I mean by that, he does those spins, and it works for him. He does well. Uh, when you play Freak, you got to know what's coming at you. You're going to get hurt. And a lot of these lower end teams, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I hope you guys understand that, don't know what to do when Freak's coming at them with the big scary look. You got to know to get that puck away from you. I've been a victim of Freak a couple of times. He's embarrassed me a few times. I'll be the first one to admit to it. I've played with him for the last 15 years. You just got to know, if you're going to get hit, you need to make sure you get rid of that puck quick. If you don't get rid of that puck, it's going to be a breakaway the other way. He is a massive hitter, and I love that about him.
Absolutely. No, it's great input on the guy there. I couldn't agree more. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Ever since he came into this league on here, that's what he's been known for, man. I mean, his style does not change. Regardless who he's playing for on there.
He's been like that since 2009, brother. Like, he has never changed. He makes a build. He goes for hits, but very seldom does he take a hitting penalty. His dumb butt likes to take tripping penalties if he does anything. So, very, very happy with the way he plays. I love his style.
Okay, all right. So we talked about that on there. I was gonna get into Pale Squad, but I think I the first two after they drafted and then week one, I think I already spoke too much about. I mean, a team that allowed 39 goals against already here this season and 9 games played. That's a lot,
next
man.
Series right there.
Only series win so far is against Cobb, so they got to do something. There's a team, like I said, that needs to make moves. That's the team right there, Pel Poner. Has got to make something happen, man. Roland in the chat mentioned, we saw the pics on the Discord, him hitting that bottle. I don't know, man. I mean, he's got to get the clear thought here. But something's got to change over there on that squad on there. But luckily for Pale, like I said, it is a Make-A-Wish season, so he is going to make the postseason. But
I've noticed with these, I've noticed a lot with these 2 captain teams over the last 3 seasons.
It's tough.
It doesn't work. My first season it was Gretzky and Dom. They can't play together. So 2 really damn good players, they can't play together. Last season, I forget if there was. I don't remember there was one. And this year, Barrett, who is a hell of a defenseman.
But Jimmy, Pale's been doing this for multiple seasons. This ain't his first rodeo on here. I mean, I think half of his captaincy in 239 has been co-captain. Ever since they announced co-captain, he's probably got the most co-captain captaincy in 239. But I agree. I mean, it's tough. I mean, if you can't be both on the same ice, I mean, unless you're like Dom Silva up in the skybox all season long, I mean, what good is it?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, Barrett, I don't know Pale. I'll be honest with you. I know him from the chat, but I've never seen him actually play. I don't think I've ever played with him that I can remember. Barrett is one of the top defensemen in the league. I say he's number 4 or 5 in the league. He needs to be on the ice the entire time. He needs to be. He was my first D partner in 239. Absolutely love playing with Barrett. And I think he needs to be on the ice. I just don't know. And Pale could be a good player too. I just don't know him personally.
Well, here's the thing, man. I've been on a team like this. I've been with the Martin brothers, man. It was Marty McFly decided to captain one season. And,
that's crazy.
And here's the thing, man. I'm on that team, right? I'm doing great when D-Mart's on there, man, on the ice. Here comes Marty McFly, man. We're letting goal after goal. Next thing you know, I'm being traded, man, on this. So, and it's because you've got different formulas, man. You got, and especially that it's a captain, you know what I mean? Because he's setting up where guys are going to be at, you know what I mean? He's controlling the series there, and you got it's like two different teams now, man. I could deal with a part-time player, you know what I mean, or we're switching up the defense here or there, but a captain,
It's hard.
Yeah,
It really is. I've been there with Gretzky and D-Mart. Or was it D-Mart or Dom? I can't remember. But I think it was Dom. I was there. It's definitely tough to do. It really is.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, you did definitely bring up a good point on here. Wizzy War, man. Here's the thing, man. These guys should be a lot better, man. Definitely a lot better on here. They sit at 5-3-1. Not horrible, not horrible. But a lot of guys predicted this team to be in the top two on here. You got Mash, you got Wizzy. I mean, you got two studs right there, man.
Who they play? I don't know the schedule.
Oh, they lost to D-Mart. They lost to No Regretskis on here. Yeah, so they've had tough schedule on here.
Yeah, that's a good schedule right there.
9 games played, 11 points. But here's the thing, Jimmy. They're number one. You know where they're number one at? Penalty minutes. Penalty minutes.
Wow.
So
that's the problem right there.
You know what I mean? Can they control that, man?
If you don't know how to control your stick, or who's the number one penalty getter in their team? Do you know?
Probably Odd Guy or Adam. Flip a coin, man. They got both of them.
That's their two defensemen, ain't it?
Yeah.
You can't have that. If you expect your right wing to play defense, you're going to lose. And that's no disrespect to any right winger in the game.
Right.
The reason their right wingers are there is to play offense, not defense. So when a defenseman takes a penalty, it's 10 times harder.
And that's usually why I think Wizzy or Mash that's on that right spot. It's got to play down there, right? And those are the guys that are putting up the goals, the points for you. So yeah. And this was said before the season starts, so people predicted this on here. It wasn't it's not like a surprise to anybody on here. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I mean, they're not in a awful spot on there, but that's got to improve, man. If that continues to the playoffs on here, that's a team that could be a quick exit here. And it's crazy because Wizzy always puts squads together, especially when he captains on there. Usually makes it deep into the playoffs on there. I don't know much about this season though for him though, man. So far, we'll see. I mean, it's still long season to go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Long season, you never know.
Yeah.
My team, we're undefeated now, but, at the end of the season, we could still only have 9 wins. You never know. It's just a matter of how everything flies.
Oh, shit. We got Mash in the chat, man. I got to give a quick shout-out here, man. Jimmy, you're getting one here, too, man. He's surprised you're here. He's saying the OG right there, brother.
Yeah, I feel old. Don't worry.
Masho93, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for everybody here that tuned in here tonight on this Monday night. Like I said, it was going to be a quick show because games are about to start here at the 10 p.m. start for the 239 League. But me and Jimmy wanted to still put on the show here for you guys. Give us a comment, man. What you guys want to see on the show, what you guys want me and Jimmy to do. I don't care if it's negative, if it's positive on there, for us to improve the show. We're going to try to do this once every week, preferably at the end of the week once we have all the games inputted. But Jimmy, man, thanks for coming out here. I appreciate you. You sent your kid over to Grandma's house to do this broadcast here, man. I mean, that's fucking dedication right there.
That's a little exaggerant there. I still got 2 of them here. 2 gone, 2 here, so.
Oh, man. I hope you don't do that for the 239 games, man.
No, I duct tape them to the wall, and they know better than talk.
Oh, somebody wanted to know who
Uh,
Ronan was in the chat. Yeah, that's Dalai Lama, man. I don't like the name either, but yeah, that's Dalai
yo,
Lama.
yo, yo, yo. Ronan, the best center in the league.
Wow,
I'm calling it now.
that's
I'm
big
calling
words
it.
there, Jimmy.
Hey,
Man,
brother, you know what? I'm being serious. I've
best?
seen him do the best.
Wow.
And what I mean by the best, he's not the best scorer. He's not the best passer. Not the best face-off guy. He's the best all-around player at center. Does that make sense?
Okay. Well, listen. I mean, I never questioned the guy's knowledge on the ice. I mean, he's definitely a general out there when he's on the ice. He points out what's going on there. But okay, all right, big words there, Jimmy.
I've been around a long time, man. There's
Well, listen, there's been seasons that Ronan, aka Dolly, hasn't been performing like he used to. Hasn't put the effort, into the games. As maybe because it's maybe being married, maybe it's the kid wise,
it's his teammates.
It's his
He's happy with
teammates.
his
Okay.
This year. He's happy. He's got Seji. He's got Ozzy up there. This dude's gonna go all out this year because of those two players right there. Tell me I'm wrong, Ronan.
I'm gonna love to see it, Jimmy. But like I said, I'm still sticking my word, man. Wait till the playoffs, man. Wait till the playoffs. We seen Ronan. Look, I seen Ronan with freaking Hockey Town, man. With freaking Marty McFly on there. But when it comes to the playoffs, man, especially a season like this, a Make-A-Wish season like this, where every team makes playoffs, don't give me this that every team's trying their 100% when they play you guys on here, man. Because it's not, man. Especially this season in particular, I think the playoffs are going to shake things up, man. Don't be surprised if it's a quick exit. Like I said, I gave you guys one round on there. Round 2, done, man.
Okay, hey. I have a little friendly wager. I'm ready.
Okay. I'll think of something. Jimmy. I mean, we both got beards on there. I'll think of something here, man.
Well, my wife would be really pissed off about that. So, but no, I gotta say this. There's no disrespect to any teams here. Every team has a chance to win it.
Yeah.
Every team that I played with on 239, has always had their certain ways to be good. This team right here is the most defensive, structured, and most puck-moving team I have ever played with. They know how to move the puck, and they know how to play team defense. If you know how to do those two things, you have a chance. That's what I'm going to leave it at.
All right. Well, Jimmy, listen, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I appreciate you giving your voice here. There's a lot of guys in the chat there. I appreciate you being on the show here as well. I welcome you next week as well, on here. Plus, we'll try to maybe get a guest or two on here for the next week for you guys. We'll be back at the regular scheduled hour. And anything else
What's the regular scheduled hour?
Well, generally, when the stats are in, how about that, man?
So never.
No, we don't need. Listen, we don't need stats. I mean, it'd be great to have them on here, but I figure a day that's that there's no games. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of those nights. We'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out. We'll try to get it. 9, 10 p.m. For me, later the better. The kid's asleep, the wife's asleep, and we rock and roll right here, brother. No.
No.
Well, you let me know when.
To be honest with you, Hollywood, if I was I like this right before the 10 o'clock games on.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a great time because it's a build up for the next week. Okay, we talk about what happened last week, and now we get the build up. We got something. We got games.
You know what? You're a smart man, Jimmy. And you know what? That allows, if we do it on Mondays at 9, we give the captains a little bit more time to get those stats in, brother. So I kind of like it, man. I kind of like it. Gives us get more content out here to do so. Let us know what you guys think, man. In the chats there, leave us a comment. What time would you guys? Maybe we'll put a poll, Jimmy, on that Discord on there. We'll see what the other guys think. But That's not a bad idea at all, man. And then just want to let everybody know, Johnny Bales will be kicking off his stream there for the multi-stream of the games going on here tonight, as well as the remainder of the nights here this week. So make sure you guys tune in there on twitch.tv/Johnny Bales. And any final words, any shout-outs here, Jimmy, before we go, man?
No, shout out to everybody. I love this league. This 239 is one of my favorite leagues. I have left a couple of leagues to play this one. I love the fun, the competition, the shit talking. I don't know if you want me to say that, but I said it anyways. It's definitely a fun. I'm glad to be here, and I think I'm gonna join Mr. Johnny for a little bit.
Awesome. Hey, listen, Jimmy. There's something special about this league, man. That drives everybody to come back to play here on here. And absolutely. Johnny Bales, there he goes in the chat. Well, Jimmy, listen, man, appreciate you. Thank you for coming on here. I want to thank everybody that tuned in on this Monday, wherever you guys may be at. And keep it real. We'll see you guys next week, man. And make sure you guys tune in Johnny Bales with the live stream in about 10 minutes from now to kick off week number 3. Have a good night, everybody.
Later, guys.